Hi, this is your host Swapnil Bhartiya and welcome to TFiR Insights. And today our guest is once again Archis Gore, CTO of Polyverse. And today we are going to talk about Polyverse's Zerotect integration with PagerDuty. Archis, first of all, it's great to have you back on the show.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
We have talked about Zerotect earlier with Alex, but can you just give us a quick recap? What is Zerotect?
Yeah. Okay. So if you are a Mac or Windows user, anytime there is a crash on your program, you get this little dialog that says report the error to Microsoft or Apple. And those errors are extremely valuable for the vendor to identify actual zero-day attacks in the wild. They understand vulnerabilities that are being exploited, attacks being exploited, and those logs are extremely crucial. Now, in the Linux world, traditionally, because there is no one vendor, the Linux kernel is also emitting those kinds of logs constantly in the kernel log buffer. But we do have other monitoring solutions that capture those logs and send them. But the problem is, when those logs are captured, you need a lot more other details, like which program was it? What was the hash of the program? What was the version of the program, right? Which is lost by the time it's captured. And so that's why we built Zerotect. And what Zerotect does is it is the exact same error report tool that Mac and Windows has, but for Linux. And it does more than just take the kernel logs and ship them somewhere. It looks at the logs, then it does a lot of semantic processing. So it will go look at the executable that the log alludes to. Then it looks at register state. It might look at stack state and various other things that can then, when phoned home to any system of your choice, can help you understand both any bugs in the system, as well as you can conclusively detect any zero-day attacks that are being exploited right now.
Now tell me about the partnership that Polyverse is forging with PagerDuty to support the Zerotect tool.
With PagerDuty, first of all, I have to give them a lot of credit for how amazingly easy it is to partner with them. If you have a monitoring solution out there, go talk to PagerDuty. It's fun, it's easy. They're super friendly people. So our partnership there is simply an integration partnership where we have added PagerDuty as one of the backends to Zerotect. Now with PagerDuty, because it's an incident management tool, we don't send all the raw logs. So the Zerotect agent on each machine performs analytics and concludes a detected zero day. And if it detects a zero day, it will send that and raise an alarm. So if you have a fleet of machines and you're concerned about, hey, am I getting zero day attacked at any time? You don't need another pane of glass. You already have PagerDuty, right? It works. You're familiar with it. You're comfortable with it. And all you have to do is take the open source Zerotect and deploy it on that fleet. And you can see those incidents like any other operational incidents. And my big fanboyism about operations and security being the same thing. That also merges with this partnership where the same thing that helps you alert when machines are down or services are down also tells you when you're being attacked.
Can you talk about what does the joint offering look like both from PagerDuty and Polyverse?
From the PagerDuty side, so in a way, you can use both of them independently. On their own, they're wonderful tools. Now, jointly, what happens is it's very simple on PagerDuty, and there's actually a manual on the Zerotect GitHub repo that walks you through how to do it. With 2 or 3 steps in PagerDuty, you get a little key. And that key authorizes Zerotect to send logs to your instance of PagerDuty. And you just take that key, and when you launch Zerotect, you just have one parameter on the command line that is -- PagerDuty. And so you just say /Zerotect -- PagerDuty, attach the key, and you're done. And you can act this as a systemd daemon or upstart, whatever. You can run it manually. It doesn't matter. It's that simple. and it's statically compiled, and it's all open source.
Since you mentioned open source, so what does this collaboration mean for the open source tools going forward?
Couple of things, right? One is it legitimizes open source as as it proliferates more, right? So like it shows you that open source doesn't have to live in its own silo. Tools don't have to live in their own silos, right? You can have an open source tool that collaborates well with PagerDuty and vice versa. And you can mix and match. And that's the hybrid world we're moving to. We don't buy unified stacks from one vendor, one company anymore. What it also means for open source is it's a reference implementation on well, it sounds a little marketing, but we call it the art of the possible. We have all of these rich tools, right? And sometimes, and this has been a big long-term passion of mine ever since I was in school, which is open source contributions don't have to always mean fundamental, you don't have to design a new processor, you don't have to build a new OS or build a kernel driver. Sometimes you can build something as simple as an interpreter for the kernel logs that give you these deep insights that you didn't have before. And so it also sets up an art of the possible of what we can do when we combine all these tools together, and the benefits we can get.
Can you talk about who is going to directly benefit from this engagement? Also, PagerDuty, they have their own customers and users. You have your own customers and users.
First of all PagerDuty customers benefit, right? Because it's free. It's open source license. So like, we're not adding anything as a vendor lock-in. Like their users are their users, and we just give them one more free capability. Free as in speech, free as in beer. Now, the other people who benefit are, we know a lot of people who want to detect 0 days, but as an old operations person, I know alarm fatigue. And that can be a very big problem when it comes to traditional security tools and security monitoring, because you just have a lot of false positives, right? You just have like these insane amount of alarms going on. And where those people benefit from PagerDuty and Zerotect is Zerotect only looks for conclusive attacks. And you can go verify this logic in the source code, right? The way that it detects an attack, no legitimate program would ever behave that way. It's just not how you can even write a program to do that. And so the attacks that it detects can now be raised in a proper incident management system. And so where we're seeing a different kind of benefit is people now realize that PagerDuty should be brought in even for handling conclusive security events. Security events are also incidents, and that's how you need to manage them, right? They need to be handled, resolved, tracked on a ticket, right? People have to engage. You need to have an on-call. You need to have an SLA. Like anything else in life, you have to securities operations, and you have to treat it like such.
Archis, thank you for this conversation today. It's good to learn more about what, of course, PagerDuty is doing, and of course, we all know what Polyverse is doing. But the collaboration for this Zerotect is really great. Also, as we have discussed so many times, security is really going to become a very, very serious topic this year, at least. So, thanks for sharing those insights into that, and I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.